Have you ever been to the NARBC Tinley show? Well, if you haven't, I've got 10 tips for you to make it the best experience ever. Stick around. Hey, welcome back to Gecko Cove. My name's Bobby, and yes, today I want to go over my top 10 tips for making Tinley Park NARBC Breeder Convention the most amazing experience that you've had. It's already going to be a great experience, let's be honest here. You're going to see some of the most rare, amazing lizards, geckos, snakes, you name it, they have it. Arachnids, it's fantastic. It's like kid in a candy store if you like weird pets. But what I want to talk about today is how to make it even better. There is some etiquette when you go to a show of this size and caliber. And yes, I've been to the show multiple times, even before I started breeding gargoyle geckos. But the tips today that I want to go through are actually not my own. In full disclosure, they come from LGP Geckos, a fantastic breeder here in Chicago. They're going to be vending at Tinley. So if you like these tips, go say hi to LGP Geckos. Tell them that Gecko Cove sent you. So tip number one is to buy the right ticket. There are two major ways that you can buy tickets. The first one is what I did, the VIP ticket. This is my first year doing the VIP ticket. That gives me access to all 3 days. And yes, I said all 3 days. That includes Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday is a setup day for most of the vendors. And I will get access starting at noon to go in with the vendors and actually see some of the animals that I'm looking for, get first dibs, talk to the breeders, and the crowd is way less. Only VIPs can get in. I also, on Saturday and Sunday, get to get in an hour early before everybody else, and that's pretty sweet because it gets packed. On Saturday, the other option is to buy day passes. You can buy a day pass for Saturday or Sunday. They're $15 for adults, a little cheaper for kids. I highly recommend that you buy them ahead of time online. If you're seeing this in time, trust me, the line to buy them in person gets insane for Tinley. Also, if you're looking to avoid the crowds, know that first thing in the morning from 10 probably till 1, even though that's when most of the most amazing animals are going to be available, the crowd is going to be absolutely crazy. So, and this is going to be a trend throughout the whole video, is that Saturday especially is going to be really jam-packed. So just be prepared to wait in a line, maybe 2 lines before you get in, because there's a lot of people who love reptiles just like you. So again, the two options are VIP ticket, which gets you access Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or you can get the single day tickets either Saturday or Sunday for $15. Choose wisely. Tip number 2 is you have to realize that this is not a petting zoo. I know a lot of us love animals and we want to hold, touch, see everything. Even if we're looking to buy, you have to understand that this is a very jam-packed show. It can be really stressful for the animals if everybody who ever was interested in that certain animal went and handled it. That doesn't mean that you can't hold and handle animals that you're interested in, but if you're not looking to actually buy an animal, don't ask to hold a whole bunch of animals. It's not great etiquette. It can help spread disease there, and it's not a really great idea. Also, if you are bringing an animal, it's not a petting zoo. So it's not something where you want to bring something to the show. Ideally, leave your pets at home. If you're bringing something because you've sold it and you're just bringing it to the show to hand off, or if you are bringing something to potentially trade, that's a different story. But if you've brought an animal because you bought something from a vendor the year before or in the past and you just want to show it off, or you just want to be that cool guy who's walking around with the cool snake, I just recommend you don't, okay? It's, again, going to be jam-packed. I don't want your animal to be stressed. Tip number 3 is really near and dear to my heart, okay? I've got little kids. I've got a toddler and I've got a little baby. And so I would love to share that experience with them. And I've thought about bringing them to Tinley. But I'm going to wait because I know they want to be in a stroller. And today I want to talk about strollers. Bringing kids is a great thing to do to Tinley. I would recommend, again, if they don't handle crowds very well, to bring them on Sunday or later in the day Saturday. But if you're going to bring kids, know that strollers are just not going to work in most cases. It's actually kind of rude at that point because I'm talking people are going to be pretty much in certain aisles just like jam-packed in like sardines. And if you're trying to go and see a certain booth and you've got a stroller and you're trying to push around people, it's just not practical. So just do everybody a favor and don't bring a stroller. Again, even on Sunday, if you want to bring a stroller, my tip is actually wait for the NARBC Schaumburg show. Way bigger aisles, a little less crowded, great experience. You can totally bring a stroller there. But when it comes to Tinley, leave the stroller in the car. Tip number 4 is basic hygiene. Wow, what a concept, okay? We're not in middle school anymore. Wear some deodorant. Take a shower. Smell decent. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, do not go and blast yourself like a teenager with Axe body spray. Be respectful of the people that are around you. We're going to be in very close quarters. Nobody's going to want to try to sniff you, but if you smell bad, it just makes for an unpleasant situation all the way around. So do everybody a favor, go shower and wear some deodorant. So if you've been to Tinley before and you agree with my tips so far, please do me a favor and smash that like button. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps me out a ton. And if you're feeling extra generous, go ahead and subscribe. This channel is growing like crazy. I'm loving the feedback that you guys are giving me. And I would love to take every one of you along on the ride. So please hit that subscribe button. And now back to the next tip. Tip number 5 would be think before you speak. We're all trying to have fun, okay? But if you walk up to a table and a vendor has a price that you don't agree with, that's okay. You don't have to tell them. You don't have to tell them that everything that on his table or her table is overpriced. There's no reason. We're all having fun. You're at Tinley. Go to another vendor, okay? But if there's something that you're interested in that's a little bit out of your price range, maybe you can go and respectfully negotiate with them, especially if you have cash. We'll get to that in a minute. But typically at the beginning of the day on Saturday, you're not going to get people haggling with you. Whereas at the end of the day on Sunday, you may or may not get some people who want to have their animals sold and they're willing to negotiate. So just because you think it doesn't mean you have to say it. Remember that. Tip number 6 is to get comfortable. And what I mean by that is wear comfortable clothes and shoes. You're going to be standing around for potentially hours. There's very little places to sit at these conventions. And so wear some shoes you don't mind walking in for a while, standing in for a while. Tennis shoes are a perfect type of shoe to wear. But also think about jackets and outerwear. It's going to be potentially a little bit chilly, though right now this year we're in a heat wave, so really this doesn't really matter. But other years, it's been cold where we have to have jackets. Think about what you're going to be carrying around in the show. And again, because it's so crowded, a big puffy jacket is not what you want to be wearing. The place does heat up with just all the natural body heat of everybody walking around, moving around. So I would definitely wear some layers. So if you do need to take them off, light layers, or just come in a t-shirt and just, you'll probably be fine. Tip number 7 is just to be aware of your surroundings. This is good advice at any point, but especially when there's thousands of people at a convention center. You don't want to be the person who's blocking a table when someone's trying to get in and see an animal and potentially purchase an animal, especially if you're not looking to actually purchase an animal, you're just talking to friends. So just be aware of your surroundings. Don't put your bags down and just walk away. It's a relatively safe place, but it's Chicago. Things can get stolen. You don't want anything to go wrong. So just be aware of your surroundings, be smart, and you know what I'm talking about here. Tip number 8 is to plan as if you're bringing something home. Now, I'm even saying I'm going to go to Tinley this year and I'm not going to buy anything. I promise, sweetie, if you're listening to this, I'm not going to buy anything. But I'm still planning as if I am, because what if for some reason there's a deal I can't say no to or an animal that's just absolutely perfect? you want to be prepared in order to actually take it home safely. You never want to be in a situation where you buy an animal and then you can't get it home safely. So whether that means that you need a special container to carry your animal around to keep it at a certain temperature, you have to know the species that you're looking for, but you want to make sure that you are prepared just in case you change your mind and you do want to pull the trigger on an animal. The next tip is a big pet peeve for a lot of vendors at big shows like this. All right, so imagine this. You've spent a bunch of time looking through a vendor's animals. You found one you really like, and you ask the vendor, hey, you know what? Can you hold on to this animal for me? I just need to go run and ask my wife. Or, hey, I just need to go to the ATM. Either which way, if you do that and they're nice enough to say yes, come back and buy the animal, okay? Do not go and waste somebody's time asking them to hold on to the animal for you if you have no intention of buying that animal. You may take a risk and do another lap around Tinley just to see if there's anything else you want to buy, but know that that's a risk. It's a risk you have to take to know that that animal might get sold. Now, on the other hand, if you buy the animal, then you can totally ask a vendor, hey, do you mind holding on to this animal? You've already bought it. Most of them will say absolutely at that point. So, again, be respectful of these vendors and their time. Do not go and make them hold on to an animal which could lose them a sale with the next person that walks by just because you want to be selfish and take one more lap. And one of the biggest tips that I can give you when you go into Tinley, or any show for that matter, is that cash is king. Repeat it with me. Cash is king. Now, most vendors will take credit cards. Most of them, not all, will allow you to pay with Venmo or PayPal or any of those other apps. But if you want to have the most power when it comes to potentially negotiating, bring cash. Again, even if you're not planning on buying anything, bring cash just in case. Because you may think, oh, they have an ATM. I can just run to the ATM. I have been to Tinley many times where the ATM, the line's ridiculous. And if there's no line, usually it's out of money. So you can't get it anyway. So do yourself a favor. Bring some cash. It always is a good idea because if you're telling the breeder, hey, I got cash, what's the cash price versus the credit card price? There's typically a difference. So if you've been counting and you're good at math, that's already been 10 tips. But I've got one more bonus tip. Have fun! This is going to be a blast. Go there, look at all the animals, see, even if you're just looking at, let's say, geckos, right? Enjoy after you're done doing some laps, trying to find the gecko that you're looking for. Enjoy the snakes. Enjoy the other lizards. Enjoy the tortoises. Enjoy the arachnids. Talk to other people. Socialize with some of the vendors and breeders. Get to know them. Even if you didn't buy an animal from them, you can learn so much by socializing. So have some fun. Enjoy the show. Be safe. And if any of you guys have any questions whatsoever, drop them down in the comments. Let me know what questions you still have, and I'm happy to answer all of them. Please, if you like this, please like, subscribe. It really does mean a lot. Plus, again, I keep plugging this, but go back to the Gecko Cove Connection, Episode 3. We've got a giveaway. We've got a gecko that I'm about 75 subscribers away from as this video drops right now. That's nothing. We could do that by the end of the weekend. So go back, watch that video, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Hey, if you've enjoyed this video and want to encourage me to make more Gargoyle Gecko content, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, share this with a friend, and maybe check out one of the videos right over there. I'll see you next time on Gecko Cove.